9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready or not, here I come.
Dozer.
Oh, I found you.
You found it.
Yeah,
I bet you're playing hide and seek.
I am. And I found you first.
Well, I wasn't even hiding.
You weren't?
No. Who are you looking for?
No, I don't know.
You don't know. Well, I mean, is it Rosa-Leigh and JJ and Boomer? Are they some of the ones that are hiding?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't found them.
Uh, Dozer, when you play a game of hide and seek, you start with so many people and one of them counts while the others hide.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So, who was with you when you started to count?
Well, nobody.
Nobody.
No. But I'll find them over the next couple days. I'll find them.
Dozer, when you start to play hide and seek, you need to make sure you need to ask a few people to play with you. Then it doesn't take so long to find them.
Oh, I love games. I like seeking.
I guess you must. Well, hard to say who you'll find over the next couple days.
Yeah, that's right. Always a game of hide and seek.
Well, Dozer, kind of reminds me of somebody in our story today.
Hide and seek?
That's right. In fact, there was a man in our story today that was kind of like hiding. You couldn't see him, really, unless you were really looking for him. And then there was a seeker.
Oh, did he count?
Well, how about you listen to the story?
Okay.
So, our story takes place, and it's actually in Luke chapter 19. And it takes place in the city of Jericho. And there was a man who lived in the city of Jericho who was very rich, had lots of money. He was a tax collector, a chief tax collector. That means he was the boss over other tax collectors. And he was a Jewish man, but he worked for the Roman government. And he would collect taxes, money that was owed to the government from the people.
Oh.
But he would always ask for more than they actually owed.
Oh, isn't that stealing?
It is. It is. And because of that, he was not well liked. In fact, most people hated this man named Zacchaeus. They hated him and they called him a dirty, rotten sinner.
Oh, what's a sinner?
A sinner is someone who does bad things, who does wrong. And Zacchaeus was. And, well, they wanted nothing to do with him. But one day, while he was out about his business, he heard crowds of people gathering, and he thought, well, who's coming to town? I didn't know anyone was coming to town. But somebody was coming to the town of Jericho, somebody important, because everyone was gathered. And as he probably tried to listen, he couldn't get through the crowds because he was too short.
Oh, couldn't he climb? He could get on someone's back.
Well, nobody wanted him on their back. They didn't even want to let him through the crowd so he could see.
Oh, dear.
So, what did he do? He ran to a tree and climbed a tree because he heard Jesus was coming.
Jesus?
Yes, Jesus. You see, the chapter before in Luke, we hear about a man who also lived in Jericho. His name was Bartimaeus.
Bert?
Yeah, Bart. And Bart had a problem. Bart couldn't see. He was blind. And, he knew Jesus was coming to town as well. And he cried out to the crowds, Jesus, have mercy on me. And everybody told him to be quiet. They didn't think Jesus really cared about blind Bartimaeus. But Bartimaeus didn't give up. He kept shouting out, and Jesus heard him. And guess what Jesus did?
Oh, I don't know. What did he do?
He actually told Bartimaeus, what do you want me to do for you? And he says, I just want to receive my sight. And Jesus healed Bartimaeus so he could see. This was the same Jesus that was today in our story in Jericho. And Zacchaeus wanted to see him.
Oh, good old Zac. He's up in the tree, hiding.
Well, I don't think he's really hiding. He was hiding probably from everybody else. They didn't realize he was up there, but somebody else knew he was up there. In fact, when he came to the tree, he stopped and looked up and called him by name.
Who is that?
It was Jesus.
Jesus saw him.
Jesus did see him. That's right. And he said, Zacchaeus, come down quickly. I want to go to your house today.
Oh, wow. Put on the good silver there.
Yes. So Zacchaeus quickly came down out of the tree. How did Jesus know his name? You know that he knows our name. He knows us by name. And he knew Zacchaeus was up there wanting to see him. And so he decides to go to Zacchaeus' house. And everybody, all the crowds around were saying, here's Jesus, a good man, going to the house of a dirty, rotten sinner. But Jesus knew that Zacchaeus needed to meet him. And sure enough, Jesus went to Zacchaeus' house. And we don't know what all happened at Zacchaeus' house, but we do know one thing. Zacchaeus came to know Jesus.
He did?
He did. His life was completely changed. In fact, he said to Jesus, I'm going to give half of all I own and give it to those that are poor, those that are in need.
Oh, that's very good.
And if I've stolen something from somebody, I'm going to give them back 4 times what I took from them.
Oh, wow. That is quite generous.
Well, it's a big change in a very greedy man. There was such a change in Zacchaeus that Jesus said, this day is salvation come to this house, to Zacchaeus' house. And then he said, for the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which is lost. Boys and girls, we're just like Zacchaeus.
Yeah?
Yes, we're all sinners, and we need a Savior. Zacchaeus had his heart changed that day. He was forgiven of all the wrong he had done and made new. And because of that, his whole life changed. He was now generous, loving, and kind because he knew Jesus, and Jesus had forgiven him. You see, Jesus' love for him changed his heart. And he can do the same for you, boys and girls. He can change your heart. You can ask him to forgive you, and he can make you new inside, and you'll want to live to please him. So, boys and girls, has Jesus found you? I hope he has, because he's seeking to save the lost. Well, thanks for joining us, boys and girls.
Yeah, let's go find whoever is hiding.
Very good. Let's go, Dozer.